A hearty good afternoon and welcome to this session about know more how to take care of your mental health during your IVF process. We are glad to have Dr. Saloni among us today to help us understand the topic. She will take us through that and more in this session today. Doctor, you have the stage.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Saloni Srivastava, counseling psychologist at Apollo Fertility Brookfield. And today we are here to talk about a very important thing that surrounds the topic of fertility. That is how to take care of mental health during the IVF process. Now, why we want to talk about mental health during the IVF process is that IVF process in itself can take a lot of toll on you. It takes a toll on your personal health, on your professional health, as well as on your financial health. Now, first I'll talk about the financial and professional aspect. um, IVF is a huge financial investment, right? So when you give so much financial investment to something, you expect something out of it. You want the results to come out, positives, as with any procedure that you go through. But especially when it comes to something like pregnancy, to your just you elaborating your family, in that case it becomes very vital that you're taking care of your mental health to achieve the ultimate goal, that is the positivity of the pregnancy result. In the past live sessions, we have discussed about how a couple can interact during the IVF process, how it affects your mental health, and during the IVF process, what are the chances that mental health will affect the result of your IVF process. So all these things we have discussed in the past, but today we are going to talk about ways to take care of your mental health, because we have realized, it's a set thing now that the IVF is going to affect your mental health. Because again, as I said, that there are so many investments that you're doing. And when a couple decides, they do the family planning, in itself it's a huge step. It's a new responsibility, new duty that they embark on. It's a new journey that they embark on. And when it comes to an additional process in that is like something like IVF process, it becomes even more vital that they take care of their physical and mental health. Because it's not just going to be the 9 months of pregnancy, but it's also going to be the 4 3 4 months before that, where the couple goes through the IVF process. So around 1 year, that usually we see, it can be more than that, it can be less than that as well. But 1 year is just invested in this whole thing, including if the pregnancy results come positive, and the pregnancy is there. So that is why we have to talk about that. Okay, we know that it's important, we know that it affects the mental health, we know that it is vital, but what do we do about it? How do we go about it? So the first step to that is to talk to your partner. Sometimes, in my work experience, I have seen while dealing with couples, is that the couple has a lot of love and respect for each other. The couple wants to be there for each other. The partner want to be there for the other partner. Especially this happens with women, that the husband wants to be there with the wife, but the wife feels that she does not want to put this burden on the husband, and that's why she kind of restricts his involvement in this whole process. She does not talk about what she's feeling emotionally. She does not talk about how all these things are affecting her individually and all of those things. Now what happens is, your intentions while doing this might be great. You might be thinking that this is something that you're doing for the welfare of your partner, but in originality, but when it comes to actuality, what happens is your partner feels that they are being distant. They are not feeling like a part of this process. Now IVF process and pregnancy is something that the couple goes through together. when the outcome is either positive or negative, both the things both the partner have to face. If it's a positive result, both of them are going to be parent and not just one person. So, what I genuinely advise and generally advise all my clients who come for therapy during the IVF process is to take the journey together. Take your partner on this journey together. If you're feeling down, if you're feeling certain kind of negative emotions, let your partner know about it. If they are, somebody who supports you, who, really nurtures and cares about you need to have a conversation with them, communication with them. Because as I said, that sometimes during the process of IVF, because IVF is such a long process, what happens is the couple loses sight of what it is going to lead to. So if the IVF process is positive, which we are working towards, what will happen is you'll directly jump into the 9 months of pregnancy, and after that you will suddenly be into this new role of being a mother, being a father, being parents. You did not have time to talk to your partner and know their expectations as to when the roles change, when both of you become parents, what is going to be, your partner's expectations out of this relationship. What are they expecting out of you as their partner? Because now your family and responsibilities are going to increase, you sometimes the couple lose touch with each other. That's why the communication and taking your partner with yourself in this journey is very important. This especially happens from the woman's side, that she feels that she's already putting a lot of burden on the husband in terms of, whatever help he's giving. So she feels that, that's why I should not talk about my emotions. But in actuality, what happens is the husband feels more distant, and he feels that he wants to be a part of this process, but he just cannot. This happens more with women, but I have also seen this happening with husbands, where they wanted to talk about certain negative things that are happening because of the procedure, but they will not, because they feel that the woman is already going through a lot. So all of these things will create ultimately a gap. Of course, the way you present this information should be in a sensitive manner, because both the partners are going through something. If you have certain negative emotions that you want to talk to your partner about, the way you present it has to be in a very sensitive manner, has to be in a manner where your partner is open to receiving that information, your partner is in a space to receiving that information. You cannot blast the information, the negative emotions onto the partner when they themselves are going through something xyz emotion. So that's something that that is the first step of taking care of your mental health during the IVF process. Second is maintain your individuality. What happens is when we start planning the family, that the couple wants to go ahead and have a baby, and then they get through all their tests and all of that, and the IVF process comes into this whole picture. What happens is both the partners on their own level lose their individuality, and now they are just focusing on this one process. They are putting the whole 24 hours of their life into this for months. For months, when they are getting the injections, FET, OPO, all of that is happening. Throughout that process, they will just be thinking about the process, thinking about the hospital appointments and all of that, and lose their individuality. When that happens, then you are putting so much anxiety inside your body regarding this one procedure, that if it does not get successful, which is a very real possibility in all of these medical procedures. And not just that, even with when we talk about natural pregnancies, there are a lot of cases where the pregnancies don't result into a healthy baby. So this is something that just happens because of various reasons. And when you lose your individuality in that process, and it does not come out as positive, and the IVF process does not work, at that point of time, both the partners in the relationship just cannot accept this idea, just cannot fathom this new idea into their life, and they feel that this is the end of everything, which is not true. We know that there's always a next step. We know that the doctor's consultation, the consultation that they have with me in terms of counseling, all of those things, we know that there are other possibilities as well. They can go for another round of IVF. There are abundance of opportunities there as well. But the thing is, because they have put in all their 24 into 7 energy into this one procedure, what happens is, once it is not successful, they just cannot adapt to that new thing, and that takes a toll on their mental health. So how do we prevent that? How do we not do that? Is that while the procedure is going on, of course it is going to take a lot of your mind space. You might be thinking, you might be talking about it to people. My advice to all the couples who do that is, first is, if you have any doubts, rather than going on to internet and searching about it, because on internet all the information that you get is not reliable. They have to talk about absolutely every exception case, but does that mean that it is going to happen to you? No. So the best way to know the answers to your question is to meet your consultant doctor, and they will be the best person. They will be the best person in authority to let you know that how this whole thing is going to pan out. If what are the possibilities, what precautions you need to take, how do you need to work on towards achieving that positive goal of IVF process. So first is that. Second is, if you are a person, unless and until the doctor does not advise it, okay, the doctor, take, of course, take the advice of your doctor as well as your therapist. If both of them are okay with it, don't stop doing other things in your life other than the procedure. So for example, if you are a person who used to go out and meet their friends every weekend, don't stop doing that because this procedure is going on. If your doctor is giving you a green signal, go ahead, please go and meet your friends during the weekend, because that will also let you know that this is a part of your life and not your whole life. You will not be relying on this one thing that will just schedule your whole day. There will be other things in the week that you will do to be active in some arena of your life. So if you are a person who's working, and if your doctor and your therapist has given a green flag for that as well, please keep on working till you feel that it's exhaustive for you. You don't want to continue whatever that your mental health is telling you. So your individuality has to be there. Whatever and however you want to describe that individuality, that's up to you. I'm not going to give a definition of what individuality is, because every person has a different description of the word individuality. So maintaining that individuality is very important, and you can do that in any manner that you want. Third is taking care of yourself. While doing all of these procedures, what happens is, taking care of your own physical health sometimes take a setback. And not just physical health, sometimes going to a parlor, going to getting a haircut, taking care of your body, taking care, getting a massage, or getting a spa, all of those things do take a toll while you're doing all of these procedure. Again, this thing, again, I'll keep on emphasizing on it, that you need to consult your doctor and your therapist as to what all you can do. But if they do give a green signal, please take care of your body in the way you always do. If you like to go for haircuts every 3 months, every 4 months, please go do that, because that will also help you maintain, again, a sense of individuality, as well as taking your self care, taking your skin care, taking your hair care very seriously. So do that. That's very important. Fourth is setting up boundaries. In a society like India, especially when we talk about being parents, okay, when a couple decides that they want to go ahead and have a family, first of all, the taboo around the IVF and IUI process makes it very difficult for the society to accept this idea that this is something that can happen. And with that, a lot of times the couple also face a lot of pressure from the relatives, from the friends, from just the people around them to have their family, expand their family. Now sometimes you can clearly tell them that we are trying this, you are going through that process, but that's absolutely up to you. If you don't want to tell them, then my suggestion to you would be that maintain certain boundaries till you are going through that process. Because if you don't maintain the boundaries and you keep on meeting these people and they put this negative idea continuously in your mind, what will happen then is that a lot of anxiety will be produced inside you, and that will affect your chances of IVF, because your hormones during this whole process play a vital role, and your hormones need to work in favor of you for the IVF process to be successful. But if there is a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, a lot of negative emotion that you're continuously feeling on a daily basis with the people around you, first of all, it will affect your relationships with them, and second is that it will affect your hormones, which ultimately affects the IVF process. So setting up boundaries during this process is very important, even if it's with your own relatives. If Especially if it's for a woman, if you're receiving a lot of calls from relatives and all of those questions which are there, that when are you having a baby, how is it going, are you planning a baby, and all of those things, then what you need to do is set up those boundaries, and during that time let your husband take the calls, let him talk to the relatives more, and you maintain your inner peace during that time period, because it's a team effort. Right now your hormones are very very important, they need to work in favor of you. So in order to not let it affected by a negative emotion, what you need to do is just let your husband talk to them, or maybe not talk to them for a while, and maintain a shield, sort of a mental health positive emotion shield around you, so that your hormones are not affected by the anxiety and stress that you're experiencing. Fifth one is maintaining a journal. So when I say maintaining a journal, what I say is that you can be a person who is an overthinker, or who directly jumps to the negative conclusion, okay. And when the stakes are so high, when the procedure is as serious as IVF process, when you have been in the process for as long as 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, what happens is automatically a lot of negative emotions start to come up. If it's not happening, great, that's amazing, okay. But if it is happening, what I usually suggest all my couples and my clients to do is that you just buy a notebook and write down all those negative thoughts, like whatever is happening, just write down the negative thoughts. What happens is when you write down your negative thoughts, you realize that sometimes you will just realize that, oh, this is actually not true, this is just me overthinking, I don't have any basis to conclude this statement. So, or if you write it down and you realize that, oh, this is something that I'm actually scared of, then you can talk about it to your doctor, to your therapist, and to your partner. So both the circumstances, both the results are something that are favorable. So you really need to maintain a journal where you write down your emotions, write down your thoughts, and you're able to then go back to it, see what kind of emotions you were experiencing. And sometimes you also might write that, if this does not work out, I don't know what will happen. When you reach that kind of state, okay, if you have written it down, okay, maybe you can make a mind map. Maybe you can start making, the list of things that you can do if it does not work out. Because I always tell all my clients this, that we are working towards achieving a positive result through the IVF process. Of course, the hospital, the therapist, the team, the sisters, everyone are working religiously and rigorously to give that positive result to the couple. But that does not mean that, again, it's not 100% surety. So all the couples have to be ready for the positive as well as for the negative results. So as a couple, as a person, as an individual, you have to ask yourself, are you ready for both? If you think that no, I only want the positive result and I'm not going to even look at the negative results, then that's something that is affecting your mental health. Because somewhere in your mind you do know that it's a very real possibility, but you are denying the existence of it. You are denying that, oh, it cannot happen. When a person goes into denial, their mental health takes a toll. Their mental health is, put at stake. It's something that will automatically affect your way, your approach towards this IVF process. So, maintaining a journal, if you feel that a very negative emotion is overpowering, then making a mind map of it, trying to revisit that goal from a different perspective, working with your therapist, working with your doctor to talk about those kind of emotions and all of those things, is something that that I always suggest my clients. Sixth is, when you go through a process like IVF for the as long time as it is, for 3-4 months, in that time period you need to, something that you would have heard a lot of times, but you need to meditate. Now when we say meditation, this is something that is a very very normal idea that we have about meditation, is that you sit in one corner, you put this whole silence, and then you are just closing your eyes and going into deeper conscious and all of those things. Now meditation in actuality, when we look at the the actual practices of meditation, that might be true. That is something that actually happens in the meditation centers and people who religiously do meditation. But meditation, I always tell this, is a very personal practice. So if you're a person who feels that, if I just lay down in my bed, okay, and I'm not thinking about anything, and I just play some kind of music, that would be meditation for me. That's it, that's meditation for you. You have to spend time with yourself in peace, in in, and that peace can be whatever definition is yours. It can be very different from people to people, but person to person, but you have to maintain that peace on a very personal level. That's the definition of meditation. You can start there, and if you really start enjoying it, of course you can go to the traditional practices of meditation. But meditation is something that will really really help you calming yourself down. And during this process, something that is very very seen also in researches, that has worked out really beautifully for couples, is meditation. And being peaceful with yourself, being in content with yourself, so that you're not having this unrealistic expectation out of this process, that this process will just change your life. It is going to be a part of your life and not your whole life. You have to realize that at the end of the day. And the last one, and the most important one, that I feel you should do, the step that you should do during the IVF process, is take therapy. Take therapy if your hospital is providing you that that provision. In Apollo Fertility, we have that provision that while the IVF process is going on, the couple and the client are provided with counseling and therapy services as well. But if you're going somewhere where that is not a possibility, please do invest in a good therapist or else the hormonal level, the mental health aspect of your process will be hindered, and you will not be able to execute this whole process from a different mindset. You will constantly space of weird space of being upset, being constantly overthinking, over analyzing the situation, not being ready for the situation. So taking therapy is something that I feel that every couple should do when they are going through a process like IVF or IUI. And if this is something that you are skeptical of, that how it will help me and all of those things, there are, again, you can talk to your doctor. They will let you know how important therapy is during the IVF process, and it will also help you put a lot of things in perspective. Because when we are overthinking, when our thoughts are just here and there, what happens is, it's just scattered. It's a lot of thoughts, scattered here and there. A therapist will help you put that into a proper picture, put that into a proper statement. So that, for that purpose, you should seek therapy during the IVF process especially, or IUI process. And if you have any deeper questions about that, you can always contact your doctor and ask them, that what kind of therapy should I go for? Do you think I need therapy? Do you think this is something that I should go for, and how it will help you? Because they will be the, they will absolutely let you know how important therapy is. And they can also give you an idea about what kind of therapy you should go for, because that will, there are different kinds of therapy. Some people want to resolve their past trauma and grief. Some people just want to take care of their mental health in general. Some people are scared of the new roles and responsibility that are going to come in, and they want to deal with that. So pick a lane, pick that, that issue that you want to deal with, and come to your doctor. And if you have your therapist, that's well and good, that's absolutely best, and you can talk to them. So these are the things that you can do while the IVF process is going on to take care of your mental health. So, your hormones and your in general well-being is kept in, a check, because during this whole process, that can take a toll. So yeah, that's about it. And I hope everyone who, whoever sees this video is safe at their place. And I wish you all the best. And New Year is coming, so happy New Year in advance from my side and from Apollo Fertility.